Welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 12 of the fantasy football season. Last week, I said the options weren't great. This week, I think it's a little better. We have some better options out there. These guys are available in most of your leagues, less than 50% owned, all 5 of the guys I'm going to give you on this list. And 3 of them are running backs. I'm going to start with Emanuel Wilson of the Packers. I think he will be the hot pickup for the week. He's owned on 31.4% of leagues on our site. Wilson is going to get a chance to start most likely with Josh Jacobs banged up. We aren't sure the severity of Jacobs' injury just yet, but he left the game. Packers aren't saying a whole lot right now, but it's a little concerning. He was unable to return, and they're keeping kind of mum on the injury. Hopefully we have more clarity on the issue in the coming days. But right now, Wilson could end up being the starter for the Packers, and that's good news for his fantasy value in an offense that's had a lot of success running the ball. He ran 11 times for 40 yards and a touchdown last week in relief of Jacobs. He could end up being a difference maker for fantasy teams if he gets some starts in the coming weeks. Definitely worth grabbing in all formats, especially if you are a Jacobs owner. My next pickup for this week is another running back. It's Shawn Tucker of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's owned on 36.1% of leagues on our site. He made this list last week as well, and he had a career game. He scored 3 touchdowns, hit the 100-yard rushing mark. I know that Bucky Irving could be coming back in the coming weeks. He could be back this week, actually. Even if that happens, I still think Tucker has played well enough to earn some work going forward. So I still think he's going to have some fantasy value, even when Irving's on the field. But if Irving has to end up missing another game or two and Tucker starts, Tucker's going to have great fantasy value in that role. He looked absolutely amazing in this game this past week, getting an expanded role in that offense. So Tucker is another guy worth grabbing, and I think he could have some value even when Bucky Irving is healthy. My last running back I'm considering picking up this week is Chris Rodriguez of the Washington Commanders. He's owned on 34% of leagues on our site. He is emerging as the lead back for the Commanders. He has double-digit carries 2 of 3 games. He also has found the end zone 2 of those games as well. Commanders are a bit of a mess offensively right now, but as long as Rodriguez is starting, getting double-digit touches in this offense, he'll have fantasy value. He could be a good flex play in that role. Doesn't catch a lot of passes, but he's getting the goal line work, double-digit carries, so definitely has some fantasy value going forward. Let's move on and look at a couple receivers for the waiver wire pickups for this week. And my first one is Emanuel Wilson of the Cardinals, owned on 17.7% of leagues on our site. He had a career game in week 11, caught 15 passes for 185 yards on 18 targets. He's been targeted 25 times his last 2 games. I know Marvin Harrison could be back sooner than later, and when that happens, it's obviously going to cut into Wilson's workload a little bit, but still, he has been a starter in this offense, and he has a pretty good rapport with Jacoby Brissett. So even when Harrison's healthy, I think Wilson could end up still being a factor in this offense. It's having to throw the ball a lot lately, getting down in games, and Jacoby Brissett's having a ton of success throwing the ball. So you can't expect Wilson to have a game like he did in week 11 every week, 15 catches, but you can't expect him to get some consistent work with the way he's been playing lately. So I still think he's a good grab for fantasy owners. My last pickup for this week is Mack Hollins of the New England Patriots, 19.4% owned on our site. He's really emerging as a top target in this Patriots offense. Stephon Diggs is the number 1 receiver, but Hollins is second in the pecking order, in my opinion. He's been producing a lot more consistent lately as well. He has double-digit fantasy points 3 or 4 games. He has 10 receptions his last 2 games. Patriots surprisingly have one of the best passing offenses in football, in my opinion. So I think Hollins is going to continue to produce in the role he currently has. He's getting a lot of playing time, getting some consistent looks, and he's been a good red zone target as well. Those are 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 12 of the fantasy football season. Good luck navigating those waiver wires this week. Hope you get everybody you're looking for. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports.